You're watching the sports and political channel of LB. If you're not a subscriber to this channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and share these videos on your social media platforms. So let's talk about the situation involving this individual here. We're going to play the clip and we're going to provide commentary on the other side.
There are some people that were talking about reparations in this country. They wanted reparations. And I remember I made this particular liberal so angry at me because I told them right to their face, nobody owes you anything for slavery. If you want to tell the truth about it, it is you who owes. It's you who owes. Why do you owe? Because somebody in those fields took stripes for you. Somebody, after those fields were ended and slavery was ended, somebody had to walk through Jim Crow for you. Somebody fought wars and died for you. Somebody lived less than because they didn't have what you have, and they did it for you. There are people in their graves right now, and they are there because they were willing to stand up and fight for you. Those folks on the Edmund Pettus Bridge carrying American flags, take that, Colin Kaepernick, living in a society that he could scarcely acknowledge, something that he has never known, living with a bigotry that none of us can imagine. Carried American flags on that bridge. And when they were hit upside the head with nightsticks and shot with water hoses and knocked to the ground, they got up and picked those flags up and kept marching. And they did it for you. Nobody owes you anything. If anybody owes, it's you. Because you've been the benefactor of freedom. You are the one that owes.
Oh, Lord have mercy, man. I'm telling you, man, this only can mean one thing, right? And I'm gonna play this real quick.
Taste the biscuit. Taste the goodness of the biscuit. Taste the honey sauce. Taste the goodness of the biscuit with the honey sauce. Don't get that honey sauce on me. I don't like the way it tastes with my chicken wings. Taste the biscuit. Taste the goodness of the biscuit.
This individual right here. Now, for this guy to be a conservative, well, when it comes to his eating habits, it looks like he was pretty liberal about that. Because what he said right there was next level buck dancing. That's next level buck dancing. So let me get this straight. We owe our ancestors, but no one owes us reparations. What in the hell are you talking about, bruh? What are you talking about? Now, for those of you who don't know who this individual is, he goes by the name of Mark Robinson. He's a gun rights activist from Greensboro, North Carolina. He is currently vying for lieutenant governor. Or he's the current lieutenant governor of North Carolina. He is vying to become governor. Because the current governor is stepping down. So you got these individuals here throwing their proverbial hats in the ring, and this individual here decides to take this path because reparations is the ultimate litmus test. I always told you in subsequent videos that this is a topic that you cannot skirt the line on. You cannot play both sides of the fence. You either for reparations, cash reparations at that, or you are against cash reparations. And this man has decided to take the hard stance of saying that not only we don't deserve reparations, but we as foundational Black Americans owe because of our ancestors, and that the government doesn't owe us anything because we have freedom. What kind of freedom are you referring to? Did Jack Johnson had that same kind of freedom? Did Vincent Simmons had that same kind of freedom? Because see, there's a litany of Black men who had to endure long prison sentences over crimes that they didn't commit, like a Vincent Simmons doing 44 years in the bean over a crime he didn't commit. But yet you sitting up here talking about, oh well, us Black people, we get to enjoy the labor, the fruits of the labor that was put in. Get your ass out of here. Get your ass out of here. See, and these Republican conservatives and all that, they always run their mouth about, oh, well, all these woke people on the left, all these leftist ideologies and all that, and yet they can't tell you who on the left is supporting reparations. Is Jim Clyburn supporting reparations? Is Kamala Harris supporting reparations? Is Cory Booker supporting reparations? What about Maxine Waters? You don't hear her run her mouth about reparations. Sheila Jackson Lee will vaguely mention it while propping up HR 40, a nothing burger. So I ask you again, who on the left is in support of reparations? Who? You don't hear no one on the Democratic side of the House that's Black scream about reparations. You don't hear nobody on the Congressional Black Caucus pushing the idea for cash reparation for foundational Black Americans. You don't hear nobody in the Boule crowd pushing and screaming for reparations. So what in the hell is he talking about? As long as you're good in the neighborhood, that's what matters to you, right? Fuck everybody else, right? See, you spit shoe shiners make me sick. You crash test dummies are a thorn in our proverbial ass. Because you sit up here and you talk down to us in front of them, the dominant society, and you think you're doing something. You up there with the Candace Owenses and the Larry Elders and the Jesse Lee Petersons and the Jason Whitlocks of the world. I wouldn't be surprised if you and Jason Whitlock took your talentless asses around the country to go to the many different eating spots to see who would get a one-up on each other, right? I mean, this is next level buck dancery right here. To sit up here and say that we owe our ancestors, but the government and the people who has benefited off the work that Black folks did. So our ancestors didn't get paid for the work that was done. We're looking for that work, right? We're looking for that benefit of cash reparations, but yet you want to get in the way. You want to get in the way and say that not only that the government don't owe us, but we ought to be thankful. We ought to be thankful for what we have right now. But we don't deserve reparations. But we ought to be thankful. Now, if you get your boy, I want to say it. I want to say it. Because individuals like you, that gets on my nerve. because he's already had enough. We got to fight white supremacy. But when you got a willing and able black bootleg who will taste the biscuits and take the slings and arrows and get in the way of our plight, all because he trying to hold a positional, position in the government. I'm telling you, man, these dudes and these bait winches and these sellouts come around like it was an annual thing. Election time is fast approaching us, and everybody out here trying to position themselves. You are here dressing like Donald Trump. That's how I know you don't even have an original idea in your goddamn own body. Now, who in the dominant society propped a battery in your back and told you to go out there and give me a juicy one? Who told you that? Who told you that? Who told you to go up there and cut that everlasting jig? And I do mean that was a everlasting jig. That had to be one of the most epic jigs I ever heard in my life. And I heard a bunch of jigs, but that jig you cut right there, sir, that right there is next level jigaboory. That was some next level jigaboory you cut right there. I swear. What's up, you suit knight? You must really want to become governor that bad, isn't it? Now, in case you didn't know, right? You just committed career political suicide, you dumb. What's up, G Stewart? Or you from North Carolina? Or this dude here, hey man, this dude here is the next level Sambo. Next level Sambo. That everlasting jig he cut, I mean, that jig was worse than Candace Owens. That thing was worse than Larry Elders. That thing was worse than Jason Whitlock's. Don't you realize that the elections go through the black vote? And you're supposed to be this black man, right? You're supposed to be this black man, and yet you willing to sell your stinking ass to the highest bidder. All for what? Look, man, anybody, and I do mean anybody, especially if you're black, if you're against reparations, you and I are going to have issues. We're going to have big issues. And it's always the same talking points as about it's a handout and that it's being divisive and that you wouldn't know what to do with the money. All these same white supremacist talking points that get washed, rinsed, and repeated. Well, you don't deserve reparations because you didn't grow up during that time and you're not a slave. Meanwhile, there's still all this legislature, there's still all these laws, there's still all this unjustly killing by police officers, whether it be Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, Amir Locke, Philando Castile, Ahmaud Arbery, amongst many other black folks who've been victimized by these white supremacists out here. And yet, that's who you decide to go hang your hat on. People like you disgust me. You don't speak for me. And I'm pretty sure there's a contingent that's of my ilk that thinks the same exact thing. Your coon ass don't speak for me. Now, I ain't really supposed to say the C word, but he pissed me off so bad by saying what he said, I had to say it. you are a crash test dummy if there ever was one. A spit shoe shining, kiwi smelling, Reverend Leon Lonnie Love type individual. What you gonna say next? Are you gonna take your talking points from John Chukwu? Because he's from North Carolina too. Who can ever forget about Pastor John Chukwu? A migrant, a tether, bringing his ass on American soil. And will spit that nonsensical gibberish about how they need fathers in the home instead of reparations. Why can't I have both? Is that the next talking point you're gonna come up with? Are you gonna have a sit down table for three round table between your trifling ass, that Kendall Qualls looking like a knockoff O.J. Simpson, and that John Chukwu motherfucker? Are y'all gonna have a table for three and start creating new talking points about how and why foundational Black Americans don't deserve reparations, right? And then you're going to go on a local radio station or a local news outlet and you're going to cut another everlasting J. Are you going to top this one? Because it's very hard for you to top this one. This one here is in the top 10 of all time J cutting right here. What you mean we owe? We don't owe nothing. You bait dimwit. These people are so irritating. And I know that this topic could be nauseating to some people, but I'm not nauseated by it. I'll never get tired talking about reparations because until we get what we owe, we can continue to bang this drum no matter how long it takes. As long as I'm drawing the breath, I'm going to be part of this fight. Because, see, this fight ain't just built for people who is looking to get a sprint so they can go back to their PlayStation or Xboxes or whatever tickles they fancy during the course of the day and night. Or these people out here who looking to position themselves for interracial sexual access and all that. I don't want to be built for those type of people. I want to be built for people who are willing to take the slings and arrows and keep moving until we get what we owe. Period. This man is disgusting, he's disrespectful, and he's dishonorable. And I'm saying people, you sitting up there talking about, oh, well, we gotta think about our ancestors. And I know that some of the ancestors up there fighting this good fight right here for reparations until they die of breath, they'll look down upon you with disgrace. Because that's what you are. You are here leveraging the plight of the Black community for your own benefit. And that's that off-brand, off-code behavior I don't like. Because see, what you fail to realize, sir, is that you can sit up here and cut whatever jigs you want to cut, but them people don't care about you. You know what they see you as? They see you as another ninja. That's what they see you as. And at any moment, they'll cut their bait and they'll leave you out to dry. There where you go. Because you sure as hell can't come back to the Black community. No, after all that jig cutting you doing and all this conservatism you doing and all that, by the way, you're supposed to be a gun rights activist, right? So whenever Black folks get locked up or get gunned down and all that, and they happen to be licensed gun owners, where are you at on that issue? Huh? Where are you at on that? You're supposed to be some gun rights activist or whatever like that, right? You probably run around here talking the stupid shit about the Second Amendment and all that, but you know good and well what is said around white media outlets regarding the Second Amendment is nothing but a bunch of falsehoods. It's a bunch of lies and propaganda, all designed to keep the grift going. But that's who you want to hang your hat on. That's the hill you want to die on. Okay, well, just know I won't even so much as piss on your freaking grave once you die on that hill. I mean, oh man, this was so unacceptable. I don't know what it was, man. For real. You are a clown putting on a circus act for the dominant society, sir. Sir. If you're not subscribing to this channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and share these videos on your social media platforms. Last but definitely not least, shouts out to the LDBC. This your man. Scream at me. Hey!